Ye- There are some things I want to do sometimes, and I know I can do it, and I know I have the ability to do it, and I know that it is in me to do that thing. But somewhere along the line, I see myself struggling to come to terms with the fact that I want to do that thing. Or I see myself struggling to believe that I can do this thing. Or I see myself losing focus on, on doing that thing. Or I see myself giving excuses why I shouldn't do that thing. Or maybe if I do it, I might not be able to do it properly. Or maybe I have started doing it already, but doubt creeps in. And at that moment, I'm kind of like doubting if really I can do it or not. Or as I am doing it already, I am in the process of doing it. I have started doing it. But somewhere along the line, I just kind of like lose consciousness of the fact that I am really doing this thing. So I get distracted. I get disoriented. The belief I have that I can do that thing starts to wane. And before you know it, what I have convinced myself initially that I can do, I see myself dragging with myself that I'm not sure I can do it anymore. It hurts so badly when you have already started doing that thing. You have gotten to a point, but because of doubt, because of that consciousness that comes from nowhere, maybe from your brains or from your inside, I don't know where it comes from, that will kind of like remind you, this thing you are doing is too big. Are you sure you can really do this thing? Or are you sure you are really doing it? Or are you sure you are up to it? And before you know it, you see yourself distracted. You lose focus. You become disoriented. That belief that you can do it starts to fade away. Before you know it, you are able to convince yourself that you can do it. Especially, it's very painful when you have started doing that thing. Midway, you lose focus and you throw it away. That is what is called mental block. And that is what happens to most people or most teams, like the last video I did about African teams at the World Cup, at big tournaments. They have the ability to do big things. They have the talent to do big things. They have the wherewithal to do big things. Any English you want to use, to do big things, to achieve big things. Even in their clubs all over Europe, you see these African players, they are doing so well. But when it comes to representing their country back here in Africa. Let's take, for instance, Senegal the other day, how they crumbled against Belgium when they were leading 2-0 up to the 83rd minute of the match. What happened? What happened in the process of that match that at that last minute, that mental strength, that belief that we can do it, or we want to do it, or it is done, how did they lose that concentration, that focus, that belief, that fight, that they accepted to just like crumble and let it go? You can't explain it. It is a mental thing. Like I said before, even if you have started doing that thing, if you are not careful, if you are not sound enough mentally, you can still, at the end of the day, still allow doubt to creep in, or pressure to weigh on you. What you believed initially that you can do, and you have started doing it, if you get distracted and get disoriented, and you allow that to come in, that belief that you have that you can do it, even when you have started doing it already, you can still lose it and throw everything away. That is how teams loses focus. That's why you see in some matches, you see a team doing so well, playing very well, that they've taken the lead. Everybody believes they are doing it and they can do it. But they themselves always have themselves to blame at the end of the day. Because what will happen later on, even you yourself will not believe that it can happen. They lose focus. They believe disappear. That ability that they have to do that thing, it wears away with pressure. And you see, before you know it, they just throw it away. And this thing has happened to a lot of teams, not just African teams at the World Cup. It happened the other day, even against Egypt and Argentina. A match that was highly contested. Egypt have taken the lead twice. They were leading in that match. Argentina was already disoriented. They were already confused. In short, they have already told themselves that this match, there's no way we can come back into it. But Egypt, on their own part, they allow doubt to creep in, which causes them to lose focus and get disoriented. They become anxious. And when you allow those doubt, anxiety to creep in when you are doing big things, do you know what you tell yourself? I wasn't even sure I could do it in the first place. So maybe I've tried my best, and maybe my best wasn't good enough. You will give yourself an excuse to fail at that moment. Why? Because you have allowed doubt to creep in, and it has blocked your mental strength. And without your mental strength, your body cannot function properly when pressure is applied. So when your brain started giving you excuses why there is nothing big if you fail at that point, and you accept it, you fail. And it will not happen once. It will keep on happening continuously because why? Your brain already have that ability to accept doubt, and you lose faith and you allow failure to come in. You get distracted, you get disoriented, you lose focus. Not because you weren't having ability, because you have a problem of mental block. In psychology, how did they define mental block? Say mental block is the inability to hold on to your ability to do something that naturally or ordinarily or normally you know you can do. But somewhere along the line, you mentally allow some unconscious ideas to creep into you, to distract you, or disorganize you, or disorient you and cause you to accept failure even when you have the ability to succeed. Is a subconscious problem that people have inside of them. It comes from their brains. You understand? So a lot of people have this problem. That's why sometimes when you do something and you fail, you do it again and you fail, and you know you can do that thing, and you see yourself keep failing, see a psychologist. So that the psychologist will tell you what your problem is and how to surmount that problem. Because if you don't seek help from a psychologist, this thing can continue and it can derail you from a lot of things that you can normally do. But because of that mental block that has built over time, you see yourself not doing anything meaningful. That's how some people become mediocres. Not because they don't have ability. It's because they have mental block that keep dragging them back from doing those big things they are created or they are naturally enabled to do. They become mediocres. Those people that attacked failures, they are not failures because they were created as failures. They become failures because they have a mental block that keep dragging them back from doing anything meaningful. So they have accepted it within themselves that they can't do anything meaningful. So they are labeled failures. Understand? Let me take an example. I don't want this video to be too long. There was a time when Arsenal was labeled, an Arsenal Football Club. Everybody knows Arsenal football. Arsenal was labeled a weak team. It's not because the players, they were weak physically or naturally. The club was labeled a weak team because there was a kind of like a mental block that was attached to the club. Why? Because they always find a way to shoot themselves in the leg and throw away trophies. Understand? They have the ability to win trophies, But when it matters most, this mental block creeps in. You see them throwing matches away, matches that they are supposed to win, to get at the point that we take them to lifting the trophies. Subconsciously, they throw those matches away and they lose those trophies. So it was happening continuously, repeatedly, to the point that people now label Arsenal as a club as a weak team. Some even call them a bottling team. Why? Because they always find a way to go ahead because of the ability they have. But somehow, they just kind of like, when it matters most, that mental block comes in and tell them that, do you think you can really do it? You can't do it. So why are you trying to do things you know you can't do? And before you know it, they crumble. That has been the problem Arsenal has been fixing. It's not an inability thing. It's a mental thing that keeps dragging them down when it matters most. That's mental block. Not just only in football, not just only in sport, even in our day-to-day life. Many people are struggling with this mental block, that there are things they know they can do, but somehow something inside of them just tell them that you can't do it. Why are you bothering yourself? Why are you worrying yourself? Forget about it. There's no way you can do this thing. And even if they are started, they withdraw. Why? Because they allow that their mind, that negative part of your mind to derail you. Everybody have it in them. Everybody in our brains, there are some parts that always give those negative stuff. They drop it. Those ideas, those weak negative ideas, those you can't do it idea, those you are not sure you can do this idea, those you come on, forget about this thing, it's too big for you, those ideas that will not make you amount to something. There's a part of our brain that keep bringing those stuff out. But it is left for you to silence it and go for those big things, irrespective of what your mind is telling you. Go for those big things. There's a saying that I love so much that I always tell myself every time when I feel a bit discouraged. He said, launch for the moon. You know, when you launch for the moon, even if you couldn't get to the moon or you misses the moon, do you know you will still find yourself among stars? Yes, you will still find yourself among stars. But just do something big. Launch for the moon. Because at the end of the day, if you fail to land in the moon, you will still find yourself among stars. Yes. Launch. Think big. Don't allow that little part of your brain to drag you down and tell you can't do it. You can't amount to anything. You can't spring up. You can't do big things. Because when you allow it, then mental block will now creep in. And sometimes it now become a part of us that we will now be seeking for deliverance from mental block. Many people, the problem they have that they are going about looking for deliverance for is nothing spiritual. It's just a mental thing. Why? Because they have allowed it pile and pile and pile. It has not become a part and parcel of them. You see them when it comes to big things, they struggle. Why? Because they already have it at the back of their mind that they can't do big things. They can't do meaningful things. They can't spring big surprises. In short, they can't even surprise them. They don't believe they can even surprise them. So not to talk of surprising people around them, or not to talk of surprising the world they are living in. They have the ability, but that mental block is there. So that's the problem most African teams have at the World Cup. Like I said in my last video, the African teams, especially in this World Cup, their ability was so much on display that you can't even take anything away from them compared to the other bigger teams that we normally know. Imagine when Senegal played France. It was a keenly contested affair. When Congo played England, it was a keenly contested affair. When Spain played Cape Verde, little Cape Verde Island, it was a keenly contested match. When England played Ghana, it was a keenly contested match. You can see that the gap between these teams are just like little. But the problem with these African teams, they still have that mental block that is telling them that you are an African team, you are from Africa, you are not there yet, you are not ready yet, you can't do it yet. You see, at the end of the day, you see they play well, they do everything right, but at the end of the day, they still manage to crumble. Why? Because they accept what their mind is telling them. That mental block is there, and it has been hampering African teams for far too long, that we always just go to the World Cup and not aim to go and win it. Only Morocco, since the last World Cup, and even this one, that have that mental ability to not give a fuck about who you are. They want to play you and beat you, and if possible, go all the way. So I pray every other African teams, they develop that mindset that they can do it no matter what, and not accept any negative narrative or notion or voice from their brains that tells them that you are not up to it, you are not ready yet, you are not there yet, you are not, all those nonsense stuff that your brains tell you sometimes. Sometimes our brains, some part of our brain are our biggest problem, not just the people around us. We always give excuses with the people around us. This one is not helping me, this is not helping matters. And sometimes the ability in us is lying dormant. Our brain is telling us we can't do anything with it. You can sing, but you just stay in the choir and sing all your life in the choir. You don't want to do anything big. These musicians that we hear every day of, they came outside from the choir and say, I cannot remain a chorister all my life. I want to be a musician. They use their ability to do big things, and today when we listen to their songs, we dance to their songs, they are celebrated everywhere. But if they have remained in the choir all their life, it's only their church members that will celebrate them. Nobody will hear of them. So, mental block. We need to break out of it. We need to break out of it. You can talk. You can give speech, beautiful speech. You know? No, I'm shy. But you can talk. When you're inside, you can talk fluently and sweetly. But you just want to remain inside and be talking sweetly and beautifully inside. Or maybe sometimes you go outside amongst your friends, you talk beautifully. You don't want to use that gift to do big things. You can be a journalist. You can be a presenter. You can be anything as far as you have the ability. But sometimes many of us, we just want to leave it inside of us and use it to do little things. At the end of the day, it stays there and nothing happens. Mental block. We can go on and on. The talent you have inside of you, that you know that you have it, and you are not doing anything about it, and you think it's normal. It's not normal. It's as a result of mental block. That is why You know you have that talent, but you decide to sit on it and keep quiet and never thought of using it to do anything big. You were just okay. It's a mental block that you have that has made you so comfortable to allow that talent or that ability to remain in you unexploited. You see, every one of us, we have it. That mental block. We all have it, but we don't realize it. That's one funny thing about it. We have that part of our brain that always drags us back from doing those big things we are supposed to be doing because we have the ability. Sometimes we start it, but the voice comes out again and tell you, you're not ready for this yet. You can't do this yet. You can't be doing this. And before you know it, you stop. So, my advice to you, to every one of us, including myself, that part of your brain that keep telling you, you can't, you're not ready, it's not time yet. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to continue? Let that part of your brain die. And listen to the other part of your brain that keep telling you, go, you can do it, you can do better. Look at that person. You can sing more than that person. You can run more than that person. You can do talk beautifully more than that person. You can do this more than that person. Tell them you can do it. And keep doing it. Don't stop. The more you keep doing it, the more your confidence to do it builds. And before you know it, you see yourself doing big things. Yeah. You see yourself doing big things. Me that is talking to you right now. When I was young, I don't talk in public. Why? Because I stuttered. I was a stammerer, In public, I stay quiet like, how will I describe it? I mean, me, those rivers that doesn't flow, I just there quietly. What is it called? I don't know what it's called. Is it pond? Where? That's how I am. I stay quiet. When you even ask me a question, sometimes it is hard to answer because if I answer you, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk fluently. I stutter so much. But it got to a time I said, even if I stutter, man, I can't remain a deaf and dumb and just stay quiet everywhere I go to. So I started building myself on how to talk, even in public, everywhere. I talk, even if I'm not asked questions. I just want to talk to people. Then gradually, you see, I was able to break that mental block. That now I can talk to you, even if I'm stuttering, even if I'm stammering, I still talk to you. You will listen. Yeah. So that is it. Mental block. So let's look inward and keep that part of our brain that keep telling us we can do it. Because everything in life can be done as far as you have the ability to do it. Your time starts now. Well, esteem your brother, Comrade Presti. I tell you, we talk about everything. Football, politics, life in general, everything. We just talk. But I'm very sorry about this video. I think it got too long. I never really thought it's going to be this long. But sometimes I just talk. I don't even check the time. I'm sorry. Don't worry. The next video I'm going to do is going to be very short. But anyhow, watch. You will learn something from this video. And you will have the ability and the grace to break that mental block that has been holding you back all these years. And if you do so, you will be happy for it. God will give you the grace and the ability to do it. In the meantime, I will see you very soon. Take care of yourself and God bless you. I salute you. Bye for now.